everybody, and welcome back to another episode of How Not to Die of Boredom While Quarantined, named subject to change at the end of the quarantine. So right now, we are all obviously quarantined, and they're recommending everybody wear face masks. So our safety is important, your safety is important. So today for our DIY, we decided to make face masks. The materials we're going to be using are currently what the CDC recommends, but you're going to want to keep tabs on the CDC website to make sure that it's current. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so we've picked out our fabrics. I have a black cotton with metallic Star Wars all over it and a black flannel. We made a pattern and the link for that will be in the description, so you guys can make your own. So what you're gonna need is you are actually gonna need 4 cuts of the cotton pattern. So go ahead and get your fabric all laid out. Don't want to use up too much. And get that pinned down. Okay, so we got that pinned. We got 4 layers here. So go ahead and take your sewing only scissors. Jeremy understands. I think one time I actually caught Jeremy using my sewing only scissors for paper. It was not good. All right, and then you're gonna need 2 pieces of the flannel. Okay. And get it pinned down so you can get a nice clean cut. Okay, so now we have our 4 pieces of cotton and our 2 pieces of flannel. For this part, what you're gonna wanna do is take a piece of flannel, a piece of cotton, layer them up. Just have to layer it the right way. Okay, so when you're layering it, you're gonna wanna lay the flannel, lay your cotton, so if you have a pattern, the pattern is facing up. And then you're gonna take another piece of cotton with the pattern, and you're gonna do it so the right sides of the fabric are facing each other. And then you're gonna do your last piece of flannel. Okay, and you can set these aside for the time being. We'll get back to those. I'm just gonna go ahead and pin this so the fabrics don't slip on each other as we're stitching. All right, so we've got our pieces all pinned together. We're gonna do a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. So we'll go ahead and whip that together real quick. All right, got that done. And then to make the curve sit nicer, just take your scissors and do little clips every inch or so up to the seam line. Just be careful you don't actually cut through the thread. All right, so we got that, and when you flip it out, you got your outer shell. All right, so we are gonna go ahead and then take our outer layers with your right sides together. Get them nice and lined up. I'm gonna be bad and not pin it. Don't judge. And all right, I just did a 1/4 inch seam allowance there too. And same as the other one, just clip every inch or so up to the seam. All right, so now you've got pretty much two identical pieces. And what you're gonna wanna do now is have right sides together so the patterns are facing each other. And I always start from the center seam, just so you know that you're nice and lined up. Now this I'm gonna pin, just so it doesn't go all over the place and get weird. All right, so we have our pieces pinned together, all ready to go. We're just gonna do another 1/4 inch seam allowance, like we did before. Got all of that stitched up. So on one side of the pattern, there's a corner, the other side smooth. You're gonna actually wanna make a little cut into that corner, otherwise it just bunches up and looks weird. And it bugs me, so please cut it. Okay, so we got that clipped. Now you're gonna go between the two cotton pieces and you're gonna flip it right side out. Takes a little bit of doing, but it works. Now we basically have our face mask. We just need to add a couple things. I'm gonna do a little top stitching around it just to keep the seams nice and flat and pretty looking. And actually at the same time, so this mask is for Chris, and I'm guessing Chris is just gonna want black hair ties, not nice purple or pink. All right, so just take 2 hair ties. I like to find where they were initially connected and clip them in half. All right, so for this, again, I'm a bad person. I don't measure this. I just, you know, what happens, happens. So you're just gonna take and fold the raw edge inside. So you're basically gonna be creating a hem, more or less. Okay, so folded, and then you're just gonna take your hair ties and tuck them in to the corners. Pin that down. Take the other end, pinch it into the other corner. Oops. Pin that down, and then I like to put a pin in the center so the fold doesn't come undone. All right, and then we're just gonna go around and pin again, making sure to flatten out the seam so it's not folded in on itself. Okay, so we are done pinning all around. As you can see, what I did on the one side, pinning the hair ties in, I did on the other side. So now I'm gonna do an 1/8 inch top stitch all the way around. Let's do it. All right, so as we're stitching this, I know my machine doesn't necessarily like to handle stitching through the hair tie. You just gotta give it a little extra persuasion. All right, and there you have it. Your very own Star Wars DIY mask. So stay safe out there. Try not to catch anything. Don't give anything to anyone. Wear your mask. Catch you later. May the force be with you.